Welcome back to the studio. It's time now to get Media Watch, and that, as always, is with False Fancat's James Creedon. Good evening to you, James.
Good evening indeed.
Now, we're going to be looking very closely at the situation in Egypt, and notably how Twitter and social media have played a role there. What's the latest on the news that the cabinet has resigned?
Well, there have been reactions to that already, Catherine, as you'd expect. Resignations always in the offing, says this particular tweet. Designed, and this person is a little bit cynical about it, saying it's designed to divide the protesters' resistance and make people say, there, you got what you wanted. So that's one pretty cynical person tweeting about it. Also here, great news about the cabinet if it's true. That's, as you said, the resignation of the government. But this wasn't about them. This is about SCAF. That's the Army Council. You have zero legitimacy. Tahrir, stay put. So that person there calling for continuation of the protest, saying that the cabinet resignation is nothing to do.
Not satisfied with this move alone.
Absolutely not. And again, a third tweet with pretty much the same sentiment. More empty gestures and token concessions. This is the story of SCAF's mismanagement of the transition since day one. So a lot of people tweeting about this in English, clearly wanting to get the message out there to the international community. So these tweets not really destined, I suppose, for the domestic audience. Now, a lot of people also talking about violence in the streets leading up to Tahrir Square, in particular Mohammed Mahmoud Street, which leads up. People saying that there's even live bullets, that there are live bullets being used, according to this particular person on Twitter. Also, a lot of reports of tear gas being used. This particular person saying that protesters go to the front line, get gassed and shot at, and he has put a photo, not a very particularly a photo that shows an awful lot, but saying that people are getting gassed quite frequently. Now, there are also reports, and of course, this is where the caveat comes in. You have to be careful with Twitter because it can be a huge rumour mill. These aren't confirmed reports, but some people saying that nerve gas is being used, and others are very quick to point out that certain media in Egypt, this channel, for example, a liberal channel that focuses on reviving the Egyptian identity, according to that slogan, they are saying that nerve gas is actually forbidden internationally, and El Asawi, that's the Interior Minister, who is now apparently just resigned, needs to face crimes against humanity. So that's one person's reaction on the street, saying that the gas isn't just tear gas, that it's illegal according to his point of view of things, and that there needs to be consequences.
So we're seeing a variety of reports coming out there, and very quickly, of course, Twitter very rapid. It's been a tool, really, this time again in Egypt in this unrest, the second wave of the revolution. Twitter, social media, very much featuring.
Absolutely, and indeed, what's interesting is that it's being used also to organise people in Tahrir Square. You can see that there's a photo here being set up, or there's a photo being tweeted of people. What would you say? They're clearing a path for motorcycle ambulances to move in and out of a makeshift hospital at KFC, so a fast food restaurant around the square. This Twitter page here, Tahrir Supplies, allows people to upload messages and to make appeals for help, so that people, if they feel they need to regroup, or if they need medical resources,
bring blankets to this address and bring food, etc.
Exactly. So it's incredible to see it has this double use, I suppose, to organise people on the ground, so resources can be brought in, but also to get the message out there to the broader public. And that's why we're seeing a lot of tweets, not in Arabic, but in English. But you can see on this page here that there are tweets actually in both languages if you look down through it. Now, this message I thought was quite interesting as well. A lot of reports over the last number of days of eye injuries. Some claims as well that the police were even targeting people's faces with rubber bullets. Now, unconfirmed, but a lot of people saying that. So this particular tweet here, a doctor, a prominent eye doctor, according to this tweet, who has volunteered to treat Tahrir eye injury. So again, an example of how the practical function of how Twitter can be used.
Aside from the practical side there, there's an awful lot of emotion, isn't there, here? We've seen an awful lot of determination, optimism among protesters in Egypt coming out via Twitter.
That's right. So it's also, I suppose, a mouthpiece for those sentiments. And you can see this one here, the size of the crowds, the raw energy, the courage. I think people are gradually beginning to believe they can and will end military rule. And that's a very recent tweet, that after the announcement of the cabinet resignation. And look at this one. I think it's even more emotive. Ye of little faith, look at Tahrir tonight. The Egyptian revolution is back. So people very, I suppose, positive about what these demonstrations in public can do. But some notes of doubt as well. Have a look at this one. Battle rages on in Tahrir, but it's life as usual for most Cairenes. So people saying, actually, well, it's limited in terms of its scope and its geographical stretch. Now, what we've seen a lot over the last couple of days as well, but less so in the last couple of hours, I must say, are photos such as these ones, very tragic photos of bodies being uploaded and family members grieving. And this was one of the top tweets in the last number of hours. A doctor in tears after he failed to save one of the injured. That was actually from yesterday, that particular photo. So it's a pretty powerful tool at the moment for something like this.
It's clearly coming out as a very powerful tool in the situation in Egypt and getting information out to the wider world in any rate. Okay, thanks very much indeed,
Thanks,
James
Catherine.
Goodin, with that Media Watch here on France 24. Well, now it's time to take a look at what's being clicked, linked to and liked in the rest of the digital world. It's tonight's web news.